and especially voters of Aljunied GRC. It is a great privilege for the Workers' Party and for me to be back to contest here again. Judging from reactions, there is interest in the Aljunied contest. Foreign Minister George Yeo criticized Workers' Party for saying that voters were our secret weapon. He said, "We were using the voters." I quote him, "The voters' needs, their wishes, their primacy must come first. I will not use them as though they are instruments to be chosen or discarded," unquote. If the PAP really respects voters' needs and wishes, why does it keep redrawing boundaries after every election based on the voting results? Why don't we ask the voters in Kaki Bukit, who have not moved house for 25 years, but have been kicked around from Eunos GRC to Marine Parade and now Aljunied? Who is the one using the voters as instruments to be chosen or discarded? Now tonight I want to talk about two things. First, voting secrecy. And second, to address a concern which Aljunied voters might have. First of all, voting secrecy. When I visit residents, I often ask them whether they believe that their vote is secret. Most people give the right answer. They tell me their vote is secret. Others are better. They say they don't care and will openly tell their votes to anyone who asks. But for those of you who are less sure, let me say this. The Workers' Party is very certain that your vote is secret. The Workers' Party has participated in every general election in Singapore since independence. We have examined the voting process very closely and carefully. There is no way for anyone to know how you have voted as an individual. On polling day, when the votes are counted, this is done by civil servants from different departments in the presence of the candidates and agents from PAP and opposition. After the counting, the votes and records are sealed and stored in the Supreme Court vault, where they are kept for 6 months. After 6 months, the sealed votes and records are destroyed by fire at the incinerator in Tuas, together with our other rubbish. Now, the whole procedure is witnessed by representatives from various political parties. 5 years ago, I was there with Mr. Lau and Yao Shin Leong. We found the seals on the votes and records intact, and our signatures were still intact. So we are completely satisfied that there is voting secrecy in Singapore. Now, some of you may ask, why are there serial numbers on the ballot papers? True, there are 4 numbers. Other countries also have serial numbers, and this is to ensure that each person casts their votes only once. But the main point for you is this. After counting, the votes are sealed and remain sealed until they are destroyed at the incinerator. The votes are not traced. If you still have doubts, remember that the PAP has more to lose if the voting process is not secure. They don't want their reputation tarnished internationally. So please, when polling day comes on May 7th, go to the polling station and mark the cross in the box for the Workers' Party. Now, the second thing I want to touch on is for you in Aljunied, who have still not made up your minds whom to vote for. One of the things you might be thinking about is whether the election of Workers' Party candidates in Aljunied will mean that Minister George Yeo's talents will be lost to Singapore. We understand how you feel, but please think about this carefully. Mr. Yeo's talents will not be lost to Singapore if he loses in Aljunied GRC. Remember that the PAP government has control and influence over all government-linked companies, statutory boards and ministries. Mr. Yeo still has a bright future. He will be able to contribute to the national interest in so many ways. He could easily be appointed the chairman of one of these organizations, or even ambassador at large, just like Professor Tommy Koh. In fact, this is what happens to PAP ministers when they retire. So don't think of voting for Workers' Party as voting against George Yeo. Think of it as helping him into early retirement. So my friends, yes, Workers' Party wants you to make an important choice at this GE. We are asking you to share our vision of a more balanced parliament. How does that benefit you? With a stronger Workers' Party presence, the PAP government would be more alert to justify its actions. Use us as your bargaining power to wake the PAP up, to do more about what matters to you, such as healthcare costs, caring for the elderly, keeping housing affordable, and providing for the disabled. We will work with you to make sure the PAP government remembers that they are there to serve you and not the other way around. My dear friends, you hold the key to a better Singapore. Use your vote to chart a new course. Vote for the Workers' Party.